seductive, graphically sensual. They will assault your senses. They are incorporated. They will bend your mind, shatter your sanity, and seal your fate. Lethal Ladies Inc. Try us on for size. We will take your breath away.
All messed up.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to the rescheduled. They're all messed up. And tonight, just here in a little bit, we're going to be talking about the Gore Girls, a Herschel Gordon Gore classic, and Home for the Holidays, and not Home for the Holidays with Holly Hunter from like the 90s. This is Home for the Holidays from 1972. So we're going to talk about that, both of these movies here in just a little bit, and talk about the kills in each of them. And I'm also going to give a rating for each one of them. So to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way, I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll get started with these movies. Sorry if I seem a little, half out of it. I have not been sleeping very good because I think I've told some of y'all this about Brink. We weren't sure if she was in the beginning stages of heart failure or what. But now the vet tells us that they don't think she's got heart failure. Just basically the stuff with her lungs and stuff like that is due to getting older, basically. She's an older dog. So they're going to give us some medicine. Well, not give it to us, of course, we got to pay for it, but we're going to get some medicine for her that's probably going to alleviate this cough. Zoe has also been feeling under the weather, or something was going on with her, but I think she's starting to come back around to her normal self. So, needless to say, last night with two dogs not exactly feeling well, I was up almost every hour checking on them to make sure that they were okay. Um, but I did not want to miss this because I've already rescheduled it once. And, even though I'm not getting necessarily paid for doing these, I enjoy doing them. And I like to do these preferably whenever I say I'm going to. And hold on one second, guys. I forgot to plug in the slide, and I think I forgot to do it Monday night, or not Monday, Tuesday night as well. And I did not get to do cannon fodder last night, for which I do apologize, but things were just too hectic for me to do that. So that got to be rescheduled, but I did not want to reschedule this one a second time. Um, so also, movie roulette is in full effect because this is a live stream. So how do you play movie roulette? Well, if you give a $5 or more super chat during any live streams I do, this one, any of the other ones, watch alongs count too. You can pick any movie of your choosing for me to watch and do a review of. I owe Menelect a couple of movies that he gave a very generous super chat um, during two different live streams, and so he got a couple of picks. And I generally do 2 movies per movie roulette. So if you want to get in on that, be sure to get your at least $5 super chat in, and then you can get to pick a movie. And this way, everybody wins, because with the other thing, it was like, well, if a lot of people gave super chats, you might not necessarily get your movie picked for me to do a watch along for. So, and my hair is just sticking out everywhere. But with the movie roulette, sorry, gang, I'm just still kind of just out of it. I've been tired all day. Um, but hopefully I'll make this entertaining for y'all when I get to the movies. Um, I thought maybe Uncle Bill might show up on here, but he messaged me and asked what I was doing a stream on, and I told him that, I didn't hear back from him. So maybe he was just wanting to know in case, he wanted to watch it or something, or, come in here, but not necessarily be on here with him. But anyways, I got a couple of watch alongs coming up this weekend, chosen by you guys and gals. At least if you voted, you can say that you did. So Saturday's watch along, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, will be Dawn of the Dead. This is the original George Romero classic Dawn of the Dead. For me, there is no other Dawn of the Dead film. For Sunday, June 29th, which also just happens to be my brother's birthday, also starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, will be National Lampoon's Vacation. I've got an all new poll up there on the channel page on YouTube. So get in there and get your votes in early, so that you can have a say so on what watch alongs are coming up. Okay. No movie roulette, no movie munchies this weekend. But hopefully I will be having another one soon. Technically, I've already had one for the month of June, which was a special Friday the 13th edition, where I made Voorhees burgers and Jason fingers. So if you have not watched that, be sure to check that out on the channel. I should have some more Dick's picks, the rescheduled cannon fodder, another. They're all messed up coming up this next week. And guess what, gang? If all goes well, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time will be a Friday Foolish with me and Candace, and we are going to be playing a special game. So stay tuned for all of that. And if you want to see what game we are actually going to be playing, you got to tune in. You may be able to guess by a little teaser that I'm going to try to put up tonight in anticipation of that stream coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. And also, don't forget to hop on over to deaditesondeck.com for hopefully the best in horror t-shirts and tote bags and mouse pads and candles and blended teas and hats, all kinds of cool stuff. The Booga Booga Bears and the Pyro plushies are going to soon make their way to the site. I know I keep saying that, but I really, really am planning on getting those up on the site. With Poe, the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck Horror Shop, being the first pyro plushie that I've created. Um, if you're not a horror fan, or you are a horror fan and you don't see exactly what you're looking for on the shop, hey, there's a handy dandy form on the homepage of the shop. You can fill that out and let me know what it is you so desire, and we'll try to make that a reality for you, okay? Um, so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to these movies and break down the kills in these as well. So the first one is the Gore Girls from 1972, directed by Herschel Gordon Lewis, or H.G. Lewis for short. I had never seen the Gore Girls that I remember. I've seen Blood Feast. I think almost every, I guess, Gore fan, not necessarily horror fan, but Gore fan, has probably seen Blood Feast. Terrible acting in it. Connie Mason, the Playboy playmate or whatever she was, is literally in that movie. I'm going to sneeze, folks. I've been sneezing. Excuse me. I hope I'm not getting a cold. I hope it's just allergies. But anyway, she's literally reading her lines off the furniture because she could not, like, she's literally reading them off lamps and stuff in the room. Now, I didn't exactly see that in Gore Girls, but I think this was meant to be more of like a horror comedy, because there was some crazy stuff, and I'm going to get to that here in just a second. So, we had a total of 5 deaths in this one. And let's break these down. So, a woman has her face repeatedly, and I mean repeatedly, slammed into a mirror. Then she's stabbed. Then her face basically is ripped off. I mean, it's very shoddy and low budget, but still fun nonetheless. So, another woman's throat is slashed. She's beat in the head and face with a mallet. Her face is also chopped with a machete, and her skull literally torn apart. Okay. Now, y'all are going to laugh at this because I did. I mean, I did, especially when the killer took out the seasoning. Okay. So, another woman has her throat slit and her ass pounded with a meat tenderizer. I kid you not. This happens. And then the killer takes out seasoning, salt and pepper or something, and that when her ass is mashed to a pulp with the meat tenderizer, after that I guess it's like a rump roast. I have no idea. Her eyes are pulled out, and then one eye is stabbed with a fork, and her face is mutilated. I mean, H.G. Lewis, or Herschel Gordon Lewis, did not play around when he made these films. I think he wanted a visceral reaction, and I think he wanted people to have fun with them too. All right, so there's a fourth woman, all women killed in this movie. There's a fourth woman whose throat is slit, her face is burned on both sides with an iron. Okay, now here's where it got really bizarre. So the tip of her nipples are cut off with scissors, and milk comes out of them. And out of one nipple, white regular milk comes out. And then the second one, chocolate milk comes out. And then the killer squirts it in a glass and, I guess, toast and drinks it. It's crazy. I was like, am I really seeing this? Oh, actually, there's 6 deaths in here. I don't know why, but I wrote down 5 twice. So there are 6 deaths in this film. All right, so we have another woman. Hey, Gory Tiger. We have another woman whose face is burned in hot oil that is frying French fries. I never seen anybody fry French fries this way, but of course it was 1972. And what they had done is it looked like they'd taken a big bowl, put cooking oil in it, put the French fries in there, and put it on the stove. Okay. I mean, y'all can let me know if you've ever seen French fries cooked that way, but I have not. I guess this is in the days before there were fry daddies and stuff like that. Okay, so then we have one more death, a sixth death, where a woman's head is crushed very gorely and very silly too, by a car tire. Okay, so what is Gore Gore Girls basically about? Well, it's about these strip tease dancers that are getting killed off, and there are some red herrings along the way. I don't want to give away who the killer is in case even as silly and goofy as this movie is, um, there may still be people that either one have not seen it like me, um, or two maybe have seen it and it's been so long since they've seen it that they forgot who the killer was. Me and Steve do that from time to time with like Jello movies and stuff like that. And I forgot to I went to the trouble to get these pictures, and hopefully this won't get me in trouble with YouTube. Um, because the woman does have her boobs covered up with her arm there. And the women primarily have tassels and stuff on their boobs for most of the time. And then you have this guy here, and this is the Arrow release. So apparently, Arrow put this movie out. I kind of sort of like to get it now that I watched it. It is available on Tubi if you want to watch it for free. So I thought I would let you guys and gals know about that as well. So you have these strip tease dancers who are getting killed off by a black glove killer. Now, I don't know if Herschel Gordon Lewis was trying to cash in on some of those early Giallo movies or not, but it kind of seemed to be that way. And the black glove killer did use a knife at some points in times, but um, and Dario Argento did have a guy like his the body in Deep Red. He had a guy sliding back and forth. He was hooked on the back of a trash truck or something, and then he gets his head crushed, I believe, in Deep Red. So I mean, or it might have been Herschel Gordon Lewis's homage to like some of those early Giallo films that were out at the time. But this glove here on the Blu-ray, or I'm assuming this is Blu-ray, and the knife there looks just like it's right out of a Giallo movie. So that's what I'm thinking. But this guy here, he's not a cop. I don't know if they ever say who he is. He talks to the cops, but he's paid by a newspaper. This very goofy woman. She looks sort of attractive and pretty at the first time that she comes to this guy's house, and um or his apartment, his house, whatever, and tries to convince him they want to pay him money to find out who the killer is. And at first he says no. He's like, get out of my house and all that. And then she kind of, gets him on board with it. But again, I don't know what he is and why they chose him to do this, but apparently he likes money, and he also gives out plenty of money, trying to get people to talk and give him information throughout the film. But that goofy woman that's supposed to work for the newspaper, um, because of the mustache, Jack. It could be that stash. It's the thing that does it. But at one point, she looks, like I said, when we first see her, she looks sort of attractive and, kind of a little bit more prim and proper, but not all 100% prim and proper. And then later we see her and she looks like she's been on a 3-day drunk or something, and she's got dark circles under her eyes, and she just looks weird. Or she's taking some Valium. I don't know. It's very strange. And then, of course, Mr. Gentry, I think his name is, he takes her to the strip club and gets her drunk so she'll stay out of his hair for a while. And while he goes and questions people and stuff. Well, what I want to know is, honestly, I've never been in a strip club, folks. I've never been in a strip club. So maybe straight women go to strip clubs where women are taking their clothes off. But I could not for the life of me figure out why there were women that were going woo and clapping and stuff when these girls were taking off their clothes. I'm like, okay, I don't exactly get this, but okay. You're never too young to start. uh Jack, I'm thinking maybe you have seen the Gore Girls and experienced it firsthand, because this was my first viewing of it. I don't ever remember uh, watching the Gore Girls. So I am going to give a rating for this, and I think I'm going to give it at least, I know, folks, imagine the half. I'm going to give it 3.5 deadites out of 5, just for mainly pure entertainment value and the gore. Even though it's a little hokey, looks fake, right? But it's Herschel Gordon Lewis, So how can you go wrong with a Herschel Gordon Lewis movie? Even as goofy and as badly acted as his films are, they still got a certain charm, and they're just, for me, they're fun to watch. X-Ray, you say you remember Gore Girls having a mean-spirited ending? Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way, that it does have a mean-spirited ending, X-Ray. I didn't think about it that way till you said something, but Jackie say it's been years, but I have seen it. It just blends into an endless stream of 70s horror schlock. Yeah, that's usually what happens with a lot of this stuff. X-Ray, you said the lead character was kind of a jerk. Yeah, they were. I ain't gonna lie about that. All right, so moving on to Home for the Holidays, also from 1972, directed by John Llewellyn Moxie. And we have Jessica Walter on this. We have Julie Harris. We have Sally Field, Walter Brennan. A lot of, well known in my mind, actors and actresses in this movie. And I believe it was a made for TV movie, and I had seen it once before, but it had been years. So it is available on YouTube. There are several people that have it up on YouTube. So if you want to watch it for free, feel free to look it up on YouTube. Again, that's Home for the Holidays from 1972, not Home for the Holidays from the 90s with Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr. and stuff in it. Although I do like that movie. But this is a very well made, in my opinion, made for TV movie that is just creepy enough without, showing a ton of gore or anything, which they probably couldn't have on television anyway. But there are only 2 on-screen deaths in this. Now, there is a third. I guess there is a third, technically, but we don't see that death. We're just told that the character is dead. Okay. So, what is Home for the Holidays? Well, let me get the kills out of the way first, and then um, we'll talk about the plot of the movie. Um, you don't think you've ever seen that one, Jack? Sally Fields, you say? Yeah, yeah, she is very young, but she is on this. So we have a woman pitchfork in the back. You don't see anything really, but it's just creepy, you know. And this sort of reminds me of a Jallo like movie too, because the killer is dressed in a raincoat and they wear red gloves. They don't wear black gloves. And I just thought it kind of had that sort of Jallo killer look. Uh, so, like I said, we have a woman that's pitchforked in the back. We have a woman drowned in the bathtub. Neither one of these are really gory, but it is considered a slasher film. And then we have a man that we're told is dead. Well, we don't know how he dies, and we don't see his death. Okay. So, what is the movie about? So, it's about four sisters who come back home after leaving home because they believe that their father drove their mother to kill herself, and they could never forgive him for that, so they all left. And they're coming back because they have been asked by the three other girls have been asked by their other sister, Alex, to come back and, spend some time with their father because he says he's dying. But he also says that his wife now, his second wife, is slowly poisoning and poisoning him is the way I should say it. And so Sally Field plays Christine, or Chris as they call her. She's the youngest. Jessica Walter plays uh, do they call her Ferdy? I don't know. I think it's something like that. Sorry, folks. Sometimes I catch names and they stick in my head, and other times they don't. Um, but Jessica Walter's character she's an alcoholic, and she also was on pills. So, but it was Jessica Walter with long hair, and I'm used to seeing Jessica Walter and like Play Misty for Me, where her hair was short. So I mean, I could tell it was her, but it was like, this is weird because I've seen Play Misty for Me a bunch of times. Uh, while, like I said, it had been years since I saw Home for the Holidays. And I think Steve was the one that downloaded it for me that time. So Steve and I must have been dating at the time. And Julie Harris plays the second wife of Walter Brennan's character, of the girl's father. Um, and I believe Eleanor Parker plays Joe, one of the daughters. And so this doesn't have a really super large cast. You have the four sisters, you have Walter Brennan as the father, you have Julie Harris as the second wife, who a lot of people believe she killed her first husband. She claims she didn't. And that makes suspicion lie even heavier on her because they think she killed another husband. And so okay, they think she is poisoning this husband. Um, so, um, when the other three sisters get there, Alex basically tells them, well, father says he's being poisoned by his wife now. Um, played by Julie Harris. And I always have loved Julie Harris. I mean, since I saw her in things like The Haunting from like 1963, The Haunting is a very good movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, the original Haunting. Um, and I've seen her in The Dark Half, and I liked her in this as well. She's a very good actress, in my opinion. So, very suspenseful movie. It really works without being overly bloody, overly gory. No nudity in this, no sex in it. But it still works. I mean, that just goes to show you that a well-made movie can be good and can be suspenseful if that's what type of movie it's supposed to be without having those things. Now, I'm not being a prude and saying that a movie can't have those things and still be a good film. I'm just saying I like to show you the flip side of a movie that doesn't have all those things, but it's still watchable, it's still enjoyable on certain levels. And so I had a good time watching it. And I haven't had the easiest week this week. Work's been sort of busy. Two dogs being not well, under the weather. And and I just needed that. I needed something to take my mind off of stuff, as people do from time to time. And these were two perfect movies. Even the Gore Girls, it was just fun. It had bad acting, yeah. Some of the situations were ridiculous, yeah. But I think Herschel Gordon Lewis made it that way on purpose, because that was just how he was. Um, and then to watch Home for the Holidays again was definitely a cherry on top. It was the icing on the cake, or whatever you want to refer to it as. I was like, I'm really enjoying myself watching both of these movies. And so neither one really disappointed. But you know how sometimes you watch something from years and years ago and you watch it again and it just doesn't have the same magic as it did? Especially with made for TV movies. I've run into that a lot. The mustard on the hot dog, Jack. Yeah, that's right. Um, any number of things we could say about it. But in my case, it'd be the ketchup on the hot dog, because I hate mustard. Uh, but I do like me some ketchup. And so I had a really good time revisiting Home for the Holidays. I had a really good time watching the Gore Girls for the first time. And so I am going to give Home for the Holidays 5 deadites out of 5. I highly recommend it. I say, get on YouTube, find one of the versions that's out there. It's on there. A bunch of different people have got it on there. I bet it's on there 10 or so times. So you shouldn't have a hard time finding it to watch. So all in all, I'd say they're all messed up. I like both of the movies. They were both enjoyable and in different ways and on different levels. I probably liked Home for the Holidays better as a movie that I could say was a well-made movie, while the Gore Girls was just, basically, like Jack said, schlock, 70s schlock, basically. While Home for the Holidays was a well-made, suspenseful TV movie from the 70s. So sometimes it's cool that not have two movies that are almost exactly similar in nature. Okay, so the next two. See, this is what happens when you guys come to most all of my streams, you get to hear what I'm going to be covering next, right? So I Dismember Mama, which is, I haven't seen that one for years, but I remember that being a bizarre film. So that one's also from 1972, directed by Paul Leder. An Invasion of the Blood Farmers, which I actually own, folks, which is also from 1972, directed by Ed Adlon. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with both of those movies. I know I am, going back and watching them again. I think I'm really going to have a good time with them. So I guess that is all from me for tonight. I want to thank Jack, X-Ray, Gory Tiger for keeping me company in the chat. For those of you that weren't in the chat but were watching along, I want to thank you as well. And also for those of you that couldn't be here with me as I was doing this live, for those of you that will watch this on the replay, I thank you as well. Be sure to tune in tomorrow evening, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, where me and Candace will be playing a game. And if you want to see what kind of game we are going to be playing, it's going to be horror related. Be sure to tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Friday Foolish, a special game day Friday Foolish. You have a great night too, Jack. Thanks for stopping by. And also be sure to tune in for the watch alongs this weekend. Saturday's watch along, of course, will be George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And Sunday's watch along will be for National Lampoon's Vacation, also starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday Eve, folks. And I'll see everybody next time.